They asked Tarzan, "Where is your honor?" He answered, "I have none." At first that sounds like shame. But it wasn't shame, it was identity. Honor is not behavior. Honor flows from knowing who you are. Tarzan wasn't raised as a man. He was raised by apes. So when someone appealed to his human identity, he couldn't respond to it, because you can only live from the identity you've learned. He wasn't lacking value. He was lacking revelation. And that's the condition of humanity under law. The law kept telling man, act right, do better, be holy. But grace comes and says, look again. You were always a son. You can't demand behavior from someone who doesn't know their birthright. Telling Tarzan to stand like a man would not have changed him. Revealing he was born a man changed everything. Grace works the same way. Grace does not train you into sonship. Grace reveals you were always included in Christ. The cross did not create your value, it revealed it. The resurrection did not offer you potential, it declared you alive. When Tarzan saw the truth of who he was, he didn't stop loving the apes. He didn't despise where he came from. He simply stopped misidentifying himself. And this is the shift from law to grace. Law says become. Grace says remember. Law makes you conscious of what you lack. Grace makes you conscious of the Father. You were never an orphan trying to earn a name. You were always a son who hadn't heard it yet. And when identity is revealed, effort relaxes, striving stops. Performance fades because fruit grows naturally when the root is understood. The question was never, where is your honor? The real question was, who told you who you are? Grace answers that question. And when you hear the Father say, you are mine, you stop swinging from branches trying to survive. And you begin walking upright in rest. Not because you changed yourself, but because you saw yourself clearly. He won. So you don't run. You were always a son. Grace just turned on the light.
They asked him, where's your honor? He said, I have none. Not because he had no value, but because he had no revelation. You can only live from the name you believe. Raised in the trees, swinging on vines, moving by instinct, survive with signs. Strong in the jungle, wild and free, but never knew what he was meant to be. They said stand like a man, talk like a man, but you can't perform what you don't understand. Mirror was foggy, voice was loud, identity hidden under the crowd. Wasn't a beast trying to be refined, was a sun misreading his design. Not transformation, revelation time. Truth don't change you, it reminds. I was always a soul, I just didn't know. Walk like the jungle was all I could go. Grace called my name, said look again. You were never the branch, you were born to scan. I was always a son, not earning a throne, not climbing a tree to prove my own. He won, so I live if I'm done, not becoming a man. I was always a son. Lost in trap, jungle said survive. Grace said rest, you're already alive. Wasn't behavior that made me new. You seen what was already true. Mirror switched Adam to Christ, fear to favor, prone to right, not raised by guilt anymore. Father's voice louder than before. Not an egg trying to rise, not a servant in disguise. Revelation opened eyes. Sonship was my first design. He won, he won, he won. He won, he won, he revelation, not performance. That's me. So I run free. From revelation, not performance. That's me.